let's talk about doing hard things. We're going to break down exactly why it feels so difficult to focus on what really matters, and more importantly, how you can actually rewire your brain to make those hard things start to feel easy.
I mean, seriously, think about this for a second. Why is it so much easier to just scroll endlessly than to work, or to study, or get this, even to watch a full movie? A lot of us can't even focus on something that's supposed to be fun anymore. If we can't focus on entertainment, what chance do we have with the really important stuff?
And this really gets to the heart of it. We all think time is our most limited resource, but it's not. It's our attention. A person with just a little bit of focused time will always outperform someone with all the time in the world but zero focus. It's the real currency for getting things done.
Okay, so let's cut right to the chase. Here's what this all boils down to. If you want to make hard things easy, it's a two-part mission. First, you have to rebalance your brain's reward system. That's the neurochemistry part. And second, you have to build a new identity, not with thoughts, but with your actions.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to walk through this step by step. We'll start by understanding the struggle and this thing called the dopamine trap. Then we'll get into the good stuff, how to reclaim your brain, make hard things easier, and finally, understand how the effort itself can become the reward.
All right, section 1. So what is actually going on inside our heads? Why is scrolling so addictive while studying feels like pulling teeth? Well, it all comes down to one single, incredibly powerful molecule.
And that molecule is dopamine. Now, a lot of people think dopamine is the pleasure molecule, but that's not quite right. It's actually the motivation molecule. It's the thing that makes you want to do stuff. Without it, even getting out of bed would feel like climbing Mount Everest.
So here's where it gets interesting. There are basically two kinds of dopamine pathways. On one side, you've got fast dopamine. That's your social media, your junk food, you know the drill. It's instant pleasure, but it comes with pain later, leaving you feeling totally depleted. On the other side, you have slow dopamine. Think exercise, deep work, studying. It's kind of painful at first, but the reward you get later leaves you feeling energized and accomplished.
And this is the trap. This is the dopamine deficit cycle. You get a quick hit from some easy activity. Your brain spikes with dopamine, but then it crashes. And not just back to normal, it crashes below your baseline. That's when you feel groggy, bored, and totally unmotivated. So what do? You reach for another quick hit just to feel normal again. It's a vicious cycle.
So the big question is, how in the world do we get out of this trap? How do we break the cycle and actually get our motivation back for the things that matter? Well, the first step is simple, but it is not easy. You have to stop digging the hole. You have to deliberately reduce those fast dopamine activities to give your brain a chance to heal and for your baseline motivation levels to come back to normal.
And I'm not going to lie to you, you have to be prepared. It can take anywhere from 1 to 3 days for your brain to really start resetting. And during that time, you're probably going to feel worse before you feel better. You'll feel bored, maybe a little irritable, but that's a good sign. It means your brain is rebalancing.
And we're talking about the usual suspects here, right? The aimless scrolling, the junk food, binge-watching shows you don't even like. You know what your personal culprits are. The idea isn't to banish them forever, but to get back in control and use them intentionally, not as a default escape.
Okay, so you started the reset, your baseline is coming back up. Now what? Well, this is where the real magic happens. The next step is to completely change your relationship with the feeling of discomfort.
It's all about the story you tell yourself. When you feel that friction, that resistance, instead of seeing it as a stop sign, you reframe it. You start telling yourself, okay, yeah, this is hard, but this feeling, this is the price of admission for a real reward.
And here's another mantra you can keep in your back pocket. When you're in the thick of it, just remind yourself, this is what hard feels like. This is the exact point where most people give up. That little thought can be just the fuel you need to push through, because you know growth is on the other side.
This one is all about connecting the dots in your brain. You're making it crystal clear that the effort you're putting in right now is directly linked to the future you want. It's a simple cause and effect that makes the hard work feel way more valuable in the moment.
But really, all of these mental tricks lead up to this. This might be the single most powerful question you can ever ask yourself, because it shifts your focus away from the task and onto your identity. You stop thinking, ugh, I have to study. Instead, you ask, what would the person I want to become do right now? The answer is usually pretty clear.
So let's dig into that idea of identity, because it's everything.
The ultimate mindset shift happens when you realize the work and the reward aren't actually two separate things.
See, you can't just think your way into being a disciplined person. You can't just tell yourself you are one. Your brain is smarter than that. It needs proof, it needs evidence, and it builds your identity based on the actions you take every single day.
And this right here, this is the discipline paradox. Every single time you choose the effort, you are getting a reward at the exact same time. And what's that reward? The reward is becoming the kind of person who can do hard things. The effort is the reward.
Think of it like this. Your daily choices aren't just small, meaningless events. Every time you choose the hard thing over the easy thing, you are casting a vote for your future self. You're casting a vote for the new identity you want to build.
So, let's just quickly recap what we've covered. Your attention, not your time, is your most valuable resource. Those fast dopamine hits are draining your motivation. You can reset your brain by cutting back on them. You can reframe discomfort as the path to reward. And most importantly, you build your identity with every single action you take.
So I'll leave you with this one question. The next time you face that choice, the easy path or the hard one, just ask yourself, what identity am I casting a vote for right now? Which vote are you going to cast?